Here's a little food for thought. Hell, by definition, is a place that is devoid of God. Basically, it means the absence of God. Basically, all the things that are of God are not in hell. That's what it is, right? Now, what if all of us seeing all the movies, all the shows, all the animations, the books, the stories is what shaped our current perception of hell? Nowadays, people believe that hell is basically a place where your soul gets tortured for eternity. It is no longer a place that is devoid of God. It is a place where you get tortured for your sins. What if it is basically self-inflicted? If all of us had not come to believe that hell is a place where our souls get tortured, and it still kept the old definition of a place that is simply devoid of God, do you not think it would be, I don't know, it would make more sense? Like, when you think about it, like, the way we perceive it is simply how we are taught to perceive it. We're not perceiving it the way it's supposed to be perceived. We're not perceiving hell how, like, we're not considering the substance of hell. And the fact that hell may not be a literal place, but it's a place that's sort of like, it's a metaphor, or it could be in your mind, maybe, I don't know, you know? Kind of like how you get told that, hey, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Even though we're told that, you know, heaven is where you go after you die. Instead of, you can find heaven here on earth. But unfortunately, you still have to go through Jesus Christ, even though he himself said the kingdom of heaven is within you. You just have to find it. You just have to open yourself up to God, and you shall find it. Actually, I believe it's you have to simply be at peace with yourself. Yeah, you simply have to be at peace with yourself to find it. Kind of like how people spend most of their lives trying to find the true meaning of happiness, but then you realize that the happiness is within you instead of you going around looking for it. And how a lot of people are actually happier without being exposed to a lot of things, because they're simply content with what they have as compared to those that have a lot, because they've experienced a lot and they believe that the simplest answer, it doesn't make much sense, but sometimes it is the simplest answer, isn't it? But unfortunately, because of how the world works, we can't actually accept that something is simply simple. We can't accept that the answer is what is in front of us, because that wouldn't make much sense. Kind of like how when you're going through like something, like life is simply not working for you. You know what you have to do to fix it, but because of how simple it is, it doesn't make sense to you. I think it's also because a lot of things that are of quality, we are taught that it's things that you buy. It has a value on it. If it doesn't have a value, it is useless. That's why if you give someone a great piece of advice, simply because it doesn't come with any consequences or any bad consequences, because every action has a consequence, you know, every action has a reaction, but simply because it doesn't come with any bad side effects, they cannot believe it. Because why is it that simple? It can't be that simple, because we are taught for everything that we want, we have to work for it. Everything that we need, we have to work for it. You don't simply get just by waiting. Every single thing, you have to work for it, which is the current state of our world, of course. But what if it was not like that? Yeah, but unfortunately, we can't really do that, because capitalism, everything has a price. Even the cheapest thing, it has a price. Every single thing has a price. Even if it's not like a monetary price, it can be your integrity, your morals, your dignity. It still has a price. Your happiness, it's still a price. Everything has a price. And I think that's the unfortunate part of it. Because if I simply tell you that you can find happiness in yourself, you're not going to believe me. Because everything is monetary. Everything has a price. Happiness is a price. But that's just my take on it. Don't take my word for it, you know. Just a random thought I had. Yeah. Just a random thought. But think about it on your own, just think, just ponder in it. Why does everything have to have a price? And it also has to do with this thing of free will, because I once made a video on free will. We are afraid of free will. Also, we are taught not to follow free will. We are taught to follow routine, follow the ways of the world, be uniform. But what would happen if people actually started like living with a free will? I mean, there are people that already can do it already. They can fully exercise their free will. But what if everyone could do it? Would us as people be able to actually live with that, considering the fact that if your neighbor has a new car and you don't have a new car, won't you be like, I want a new car too? Or when your neighbor buys a new house, you still have an old house. I want an old house too. I want a new house too. I don't want the old house anymore. It's actually what put a lot of people in debt in olden times as compared to today. A lot of people went into debt. You know this growing up. Like your aunt or your uncle, your grandma, your mom, they would see that particular piece of furniture at the neighbor's house. They could see it. And then they'd be like, nah, this person cannot be better than me. So therefore, I shall go into debt because I'm trying to satisfy this feeling inside of me of jealousy and envy. Because of that, a lot of them went into debt because they couldn't live with the fact that someone had what they didn't have. So in a way, I don't think free will would work, because if I do what I want, that other person won't actually accept that, because only that person's supposed to do what they want. I can't do it because it doesn't work for me. So most of this, I don't think, it's not really logical. Logically, with society, would it actually thrive in free will? Without routine, without rules, without regulations, without instructions, would society actually thrive? I think the only way it would thrive is if we took off the monetary value from things. Like actually completely removed that from things. Maybe then it would work. Other than that, would we actually be able to live in free will? Now that is the question. Would you be able to handle someone else besides you getting what they want? Are you content with what you have and what you don't have? Or do you believe that as long as someone else has it, you also deserve it? Or if I can't have it, neither can you. I mean, we see it all the time. Yeah, I'd rather destroy it than let you have it. So I guess free will is off the table, because that would never work. But many know how to use it. But I think the only people that are able to use it are people that are able to look beyond the construct of society. They look past all of that. They don't have to worry about, like, oh, I have to dress a certain way, I have to look like this, I have to do that, I have to behave a certain way. They just live the way they want. And despite constant criticism, they are actually content. Because they've come to the realization that they actually do not care what other people think. Like, think about it. A lot of us care about people that would not feed us if we were dying in the street. They wouldn't even throw a piece of bread in your direction if you were dying in the street. Those are the people you are worried about. Like, think about it. Even growing up, when you got bullied, the people that were constantly maybe shaming your clothes, shaming your looks, shaming your lunch, shaming the fact that, I don't know, you were smart, or they thought, oh, that person thinks they're better than me, but you never actually even thought that. You thought you were pretty average, but they didn't see that. A lot of those people, when you look back now, would you actually care? now that you've actually grown up or you've actually seen the truth, would you actually care if that person came up to you and said, oh, you're ugly, oh, I don't like how you dress, I don't like how you talk, I don't like how you walk? Yeah, quoting a bit of Kendrick there. But think about it, like, would you actually care if the people that used to bully you came back again, like you saw them again and they said all those things they used to say to you again? Would you actually care now that you know the truth that you don't actually have to be impressed by them? Do you realize that on social media, a lot of the people that like tell people to like off themselves, those people are actually very much angry at themselves and at the world? Like, they are not happy people. They, like, those people are not happy, but people don't realize that. Like, if that person came across you in the street, they'd probably walk in the other direction. They are not, like, the things they would say to you online, they would never like say it to your face. That's another thing you have to realize. So a lot of these people, you have to sometimes ask yourself, does their opinion actually matter? Once you actually answer no, that's it. Like, that's all it takes. And then from then on, it's just you get to decide how things go in your life. Are you gonna wear that dress that someone once commented is too colorful, or too frilly, or too girly, yeah, or too formal? Or are you gonna like wear those pants that people consider too boyish or too masculine? You know? Like, really, well, when you start perceiving things differently, you start to actually see that a lot of people are trapped in an endless cycle. You know? The cycle of hate, the cycle of despair. They're trapped in it. Like, it's up to you whether you want to be part of it or not. I just suggest you not be part of it. Trust me, it is not fun on the other side. Don't you remember? Misery loves company. So, I mean, you can join them if you want, but I would suggest you don't join them because, no, don't do that. Like, please don't do that. It's not good, you know? Like, be happy. Even if you have to be alone to be happy, honestly, I think that's fine. As compared to to pretend to be happy or to act like you're happy because you get accepted. No. I find that to be quite stupid. I mean, be as happy as you want. I mean, do what you want to do. It's honestly up to you. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize that everything you do is completely up to you. You simply have to choose. What do you want? And do you want to live based on society's expectations? Or do you just want to do your own thing? Like, when you think about it, you only have one life. Once you die, that's it. I don't know. Like, I don't know if reincarnation is real, but if it is, who knows, you'll come back again. But would you actually want to come back? Honestly, would you actually want to come back? But yeah, when you think about it, you only have one life. And imagine spending your entire life worrying about what people think about you. Like, do you know that you will regret it for the rest of your life? You will be on your deathbed thinking, man, I probably should have just walked away from that conversation instead of wasting my time. I should have probably come to my own conclusion on things instead of just listening to those people because they don't know me like I know me. I mean, I don't want to live a life of regret. So nowadays, whatever I can do, I always try to remind myself that, I mean, I'd rather regret the things I did than the things I didn't do. You know? I don't want to look back later on and be like, I probably should have put myself out there. I'd rather do it and have it fail and be like, hey, you know what? It didn't work. But then I'll try something again tomorrow. That's how it should be. like all the time. That's how it should be. I mean, don't thrive to have regret, because you only have one life. You don't get a do-over. Fortunately, that kind of power doesn't really exist. I mean, I wish it existed. Who knows, maybe I could go back and eat that chocolate I once left out. You know, you ever had that favorite food of yours but you were too sick to eat it, and then someone else ate it and you were fine with it, but then the next day you were fine, and then you were like, why didn't I just eat it? Yeah. Think about that. Well, thanks for listening to me. You know, talk the talk. So if you want me to talk about anything at all, you can feel free to make your suggestions, because I have a lot of things to talk about, not just one thing, like a lot. So feel free to put your opinion out there, then we can discuss it.